What's that?
You do subdivisions.
Yeah.
Well, if you objected, y'all could fight over it.
This is short. I know, but
Almost. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm opening our public hearing today, and I'd like to welcome you to the January 11th public hearing of the Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Commission. Just a few logistics before we get started. So I want to let you know that the Planning and Zoning Commission is charged with regulating the subdivision of property in the unincorporated areas of Jefferson County. Today you'll be given decisions from the Commission regarding subdivision request, and the plat representative will receive the decision in writing within 10 business days. Note that any subdivision approved today is not complete. In order to complete the subdivision of your property, the final plat must be recorded in the office of the judge of probate. County staff will be coordinating with the surveyors of today's approved preliminary plats to prepare the approved plats for recording. The Planning and Zoning Commission is also charged with evaluating requests for rezoning of property and advising the County Commission for their final determination. All decisions made by the Planning and Zoning Commission regarding zoning cases are advisory only, and the final determination of the zoning will be made by the Jefferson County Commission in a subsequent public hearing, for which all property owners will be within 500 feet will be notified. I'd like to ask if you would silence your electronic devices, your phones, anything else like that, so as not to disturb us as we go through the meeting. We'll start next with having the roll call for the commission, please.
Cynthia Donald.
Present.
Christy Forsythe.
Present.
Patrick Gilbert.
Present.
Ken Lowry.
Here.
Jay Miller.
Present.
Kenneth Cush. Here. Georgia McCoy O'Neill.
here.
Marcellus Sigler.
Here.
Trudy Strain.
Here.
Mike Thomas.
Do we have a quorum?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, so we have a quorum. Next item is regarding the December 18th public hearing meeting minutes. Could I have a motion regarding the reading of said minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. Okay, first on the agenda today, we're going to hear subdivision cases. Our staff will present that case to the commission, and then we'll call for opposition, and the applicant or their representative may be asked to come forward to the podium and answer any questions. Just one thing, I'll probably repeat it a couple times. If you do come up to the podium, the first thing we'd like you to do is give us your name and address, so we have that for the record. So our first subdivision case is S230081. The property owner, Ginger Marshall, Roy Hawk, and Marsha Hawk, and the applicant is Ginger Marshall. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a proposed subdivision. It's a resurvey of two existing lots of record for residential use. This is Lot 1317 of Woodview Estates that was recorded in 1972, and Lot B2 of a resurvey of Lot B Carroll Survey, which was 1978. It does comply with A1 zoning requirements. There's no anticipated road access or traffic operation issues. No additional right-of-way dedication is required. No floodplain. And Environmental Services has public sanitary sewer. It's approximately 175 feet northeast of this property. And as such, we'll need to sign the final plat. Staff does recommend approval for this resurvey.
All right, thank you. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to the subdivision case? All right, any questions from any of the commissioners? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S230081.
Mr. Chairman, I second it.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Our next subdivision case today is S230082. The applicant is Richard Funderburg. This is in the Pinson area. Go ahead, Mr.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a resurvey. It's to move a boundary line between two existing lots of record. As you can see, this is a subdivision that was approved a couple of years ago, 2021. This is Melvin 3-lot subdivision. The boundary line was originally here, and they are moving it to this point between the two lots. It complies with all our A1 zoning requirements, no traffic issues, no additional right-of-ways required, no floodplain on this property. The Department of Health will have to approve the on-site sewage. Staff does recommend approval for this resurvey.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is the applicant present? All right, thank you. Is there any opposition to this subdivision case? Any questions from the commissioners? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S230082.
Mr. Chairman, I second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Our next subdivision case today is S230083. Our applicant is Edward Wilcoxon, and this is 2 lots proposed in the McCalla area.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a proposed subdivision of a large acreage tract on the west side of the county. This white area is Tuscaloosa County, so it's adjacent to it. The proposed subdivision is for 2 lots for the purposes of mainly agriculture and recreational use. There's no planned development per se on either one of these lots. The proposed subdivision does comply with A1 zoning requirements. Lot 2 access does come from a county road, a Tuscaloosa County road. As such, the county engineer for Tuscaloosa will have to sign the final plat. There's no right-of-way dedication, no traffic operation issues anticipated, no floodplain, and there's no sewer directly available to the site, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic. Staff does recommend approval for this 2-lot subdivision.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is the applicant present? Thank you. Any opposition for this subdivision case? All right, seeing none, any questions from the commissioners today? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S230083.
Mr. Chairman, I second it.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Next subdivision case is S230084. Regina Lawley is the applicant. This is in the Trustful area, 2 lots proposed. Mr. Martin.
Yes, the purpose of this subdivision is to resurvey 2 existing acreage tracts to lots of record for for residential use. You can see here on the map, this is the existing parcel line here, and this would be the new boundary line between the 2 lots of record. Both have frontage on Cavern Road. There's no anticipated road access or traffic operation issues. It does comply with all our A1 zoning requirements. Right-of-way dedication will be required for Cavern Road, 25 feet from center line where adjacent to the property. No floodplain, and there's no sewer available, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic and sign the final plat. Staff does recommend approval for this 2-lot subdivision.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is the applicant present? All right, very good. Thank you. Anyone in opposition of this subdivision case today? All right, great. Any comments or questions from the commissioners? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S230084.
Mr. Chairman, I second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. And I forgot to mention, if your case is over, you feel free to leave, or you can stay and visit and watch. So there's up to you. Thanks. Next subdivision case is S230085. The applicant is Matthew McKinney of the Free Church of Jesus Christ. This is in the Pitson area, and it's one lot proposed. Mr. Martin?
Yes, sir. The purpose of this subdivision is to resurvey a portion of an existing acreage tract. You can see here the boundary of the existing acreage tract into one lot of record for residential use. Lot size was 1 acre there, which does comply with our A1 zoning requirements. An exception to the subdivision regulations is required to record a lot with no road frontage. Prior to the final plat being signed, the easement will either have to be recorded by deed or by this plat. There's no anticipated road access or traffic operation issues. The right-of-way for New Jerusalem Drive is prescriptive, and the county maintains maintenance stops at the end of the pavement, so the plat must indicate that the easement from the end of the pavement to the subject property, as mentioned earlier. There's no right-of-way dedication required here, though. No floodplain. Environmental services does not have public sewer directly available to this property, so the Department of Health will have to approve the on-site septic. Staff recommends approval, approval with an exception to the subdivision regulations to record a lot with no road frontage.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this subdivision case? Any comments or questions by the commissioners? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for approval of S230085 with an exception to the subdivision regulations to record a lot with no road frontage.
Mr. Chairman, I second.
All right, I have a motion, a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. So we're here for part 2 of our hearing today, and we're going to be doing zoning cases. So we'll hear the zoning cases today. Staff will present that case to the commission, and then we'll call for opposition. The applicant or their representative may be asked to come forward to the podium and answer any questions. Both the applicant and opposition will have a maximum of 15 minutes to speak at the podium. The commission only makes recommendations on zoning cases. The Jefferson County Commission has the final decision on these cases. Our first zoning case today is Z230044. Applicant is Tim Smith, and this is a request to rezone the property to A1 agricultural, and this is in Birmingham. It's on Brookside Road. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So this is a request to remove split zoning, and the purpose is to allow a farm incubator and storage/repair facility. And 1563 Brookside Road is actually in the Mount Olive area. The county's future land use map designates this property as rural. And this is an aerial of the site which shows you, so presently there's a barn/shed currently on the property. The county's zoning map shows you only the area in purple, which is approximately 0.68 acres, is the area to be rezoned from I1 to A1. The entire parcel is actually, I think, 9.67 acres, but the area to be rezoned is only 0.68 acres. This is a three-dimensional street-level view of the site, and so this area within the rectangle, that's where that barn/shed is located, and the total 9.76 acre site is obviously what's in, I'll say, outlined in gold. Surrounding this site along Brookside Road is a single-family dwelling, a mobile home, and here to the south, a manufactured home. To the west and to the north is vacant land. No potential nuisances are foreseen for this development proposal. Staff is recommending approval, Mr. Chairman, based upon the following. The site, again, presently consists of a barn and storage shed. The existing, that should be I1 zone, only comprises approximately 0.68 acres of a total of 9.76 acre site. The proposed farm incubator to raise chickens and ducks and a storage facility to house farm equipment and operate a repair shop is permissible in the A1 zone. The proposed use is also consistent with the county's future long-range land use plan of a rural designation. For those reasons, we recommend approval. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Is the applicant present? Is there any opposition to this case? Any questions from the commissioners? All right. Hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve Z 23-0044.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Our next zoning case is Z 23-0045. Applicant is Bobby Schrader. This is a change in zoning to A1 agricultural in the McCalla area. Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir. Excuse me. It's in the McCalla area, and the location is in the McCalla area, pardon me, and the purpose of the rezoning is to allow residential use. So the county's future land use plan designates this property as P2 and G2, which stands for Controlled Growth Sector and Rural Zone. This is an aerial of the site which shows you the former existing Solid Rock Baptist Church. And this is the county zoning map, which shows you the area in dark green is Institutional 1. And the surrounding area is A1. And the applicant's proposing to rezone to the A1 zone district. So it's consistent with its surrounding. This is somewhat of a conceptual site development plan. It shows what's existing. There is Springer Road. Oh, I'm sorry. So you have Springer Road, and surrounding the site, you have a single-family dwelling to the south and west. Across Springer Road, there's a mobile home and also a single-family dwelling. And to the north and to the east is vacant land. And the applicant's proposed use, is a residential use. So this use is compatible, consistent with the surrounding area. Mr. Chairman, staff is recommending approval. No conditions are required, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Is the applicant here today? All right, thank you. Is there any opposition to this zoning case today? Any questions from the commissioners?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ms. Schrader? You know
hang
about,
on for it. Ms. Schrader, would you come up to the podium, name and address, and then we'll let Mr. Vice Chairman Miller ask his questions.
I'm sure you're aware you have no access.
Name and address.
I'm sorry.
Bobby Schrader, 1120 Lanier Drive, Bessemer.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're aware you have no access. What's your plans for private access through there?
Well, the taxes have not been paid in, I think, 20 years, so she's gonna try to get the property through the tax.
What's your plan to have access to the property?
There's still there is a driveway on the property that is useful now.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. If there's no further questions, I'd like a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve Z 23-0045.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Our next zoning case today is Z 23-0046.
Yes, sir. This property is located in the Warrior area. The applicant, James Willis, is proposing to rezone this property from I-3S, which is strip mining, to A1 agriculture for residential use. The owner is Jeremy Cade Willis, and Mr. Willis is proposing placing a mobile home on this property. It's 2.7 acres. It has an existing structure. From my understanding, the existing structure will remain, and they may possibly use it as storage. This parcel abuts I-3S strip mine zoning on all three sides. The future land use plan for this property is agriculture. This is just an aerial map of the property. The A1 zone district is consistent with the future land use designation and proposed use. Staff recommends approval. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Is the applicant present? All right, thank you. Is there any opposition to this zoning case today? Any questions from the commissioners? Okay, hearing no questions, may I have a motion, please?
Chairman, I make a motion we approve Z23-0046.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. And again, just as a quick reminder, if your case has been heard, you're welcome to exit out the door. It's no problem. Free up a little extra time for you. Our next zoning case today is Z23-0047. Applicant is Lodge Jackson, and this is a request of change in zoning to A1 agricultural in the Bessemer area.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Johnson is requesting to rezone this property from R3, which is duplex or two-family, to A1 agriculture for residential use. The lot size is less than an acre, and the minimum requirement for A1 is 1 acre. It is 0.88 acres. Mr. Jackson has been advised that he will need approval of a variance in order for this A1 zoning to proceed. Also, this property would need to be resurveyed into one lot because right now it shows as part of a lot, and we can't have part of a lot, so he has been advised of that. To my knowledge, the applicant has not applied for that at this time. This property abuts A1 zoning on 3 sides, and it is R3 zoning to the south of the property. The proposed land use is single-family residential. This is an area view of the picture, and it shows a couple of single-family residential properties in the area. This is just a street view of the property. The county's long-range plan designates this area as single-family. The A1 zone district is consistent with the future land use and the proposed residential use. Staff recommends approval. That's all that I have.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Is the applicant present? All right, thank you. Is there any opposition to this case? All right, seeing none, any comments or questions from the commissioners? All right, would the applicant please come up, give us your name and address? We have a couple of questions for you. Or at least one.
Okay. My name is Lars Jackson, and my address is 314 Dix Avenue at the moment, Bessemer.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jackson. I believe Vice Chairman Miller has a question for you.
Mr. Jackson, you were aware of the variance. I think you've applied for that. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I saw the boss look at you, and they said resurvey.
Okay.
If you had to resurvey, you know you have to have a resurvey.
Right.
The boss looked at you real hard. Let's make sure we get that done. So you're aware of that?
Right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Jackson? All right, hearing none, thank you.
All right.
Anything else from the commissioners? All right, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve Z23-0047.
Second.
All right, I have a motion, a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That concludes our public hearing today. We do have one other item of business, which is election of officers for 2024. So you guys can leave if you like. We're going to just do a little election here. So. Thanks, you too. So, who's going to facilitate for us? Okay.
Again, this is sort of, we've traditionally just been kind of informal. If someone wants to make a nomination for who wants to be chair, we can nominate an entire slate. I've got some index cards if you want to do like a secret ballot. That's entirely up to the purview of the commission itself. So.
Okay, so I have a motion/nomination for a slate, and that's the existing officers continue in their roles.
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? Do we have any? Is there anybody that would like to make an
If somebody
alternative?
is interested in office, speak up and let's talk about it.
Please?
Like playing cards, steady long, steady wrong. Come on.
Mayor, you on board since you're one of those people we're talking about?
Probably.
So just so you know what the chairman's job involves, you don't see everything I get to do. So I'm down here at the courthouse, or Andrew comes to my office, and I sign plats once a week. So that's an added thing that nobody sees.
When Michael gets them ready for me. Got about 12 now.
We're not that far behind. We're not that far.
Okay.
All right, so we've got a motion to keep the same slate of officers made by Lowry, seconded by Sigler, correct?
Yes.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Chickens.
Don't worry, we're going to get you into these slots eventually. George is in training right now.
125.
Yeah, you'll need to adjourn the meeting.
So thank you, everybody, and that closes the meeting.